Hi everybody! I hope you're all having a good day. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be learning about how to weight paint your models. So we're going to be learning 3 different methods. But before I get started on those 3 different methods, I need to first define what is weight paint. So in the dumbest terms ever, weight paint basically helps the skeleton in which the model has basically move the character's mesh. So think of it like how our bodies, we have bones in, bones under our skin, it's inside of us. We have a skeleton that helps us move around. That's basically what weight paint helps with the model. It helps the skeleton move the character. Because you can have a skeleton, you can make the bones, but without weight paint, you can't move that character. So I'm going to show you 3 techniques on how to weight paint, but do keep in mind, weight paint is very, very complicated, and there's going to be times where you're going to have to use the manual way of weight paint, which is a pain in the butt, but you're going to have to eventually do it. Even I have to do a lot of times. It's not easy, it's a pain in the butt, it's a lot of trial and error basically. So even then, as long as you get the basics, the rest is literally trial and error. Even me, who have done this for 4 years, even I still have issues with weight paint. It's a hassle, but even then, you'll eventually make it with enough practice. So anyways, we're going to be weight painting my bathing suit, which I've modeled, and I'm going to weight paint it to my base model. So how are we going to do that? Well, we have 3 methods. So we're going to start off with the first method, which is honestly one of the best methods when it comes to weight painting clothes on your model. It's very convenient, but do keep in mind, it may not work for every model. Sometimes it might frick up. So the first method will be basically weight paint transferring. Now, this method was actually taught by Royal Skies, but I do want to share the knowledge to you guys, because this is something I use a lot, so shout out to Royal Skies. Amazing dude for his tutorials, check him out. But what we're going to do, the first step is we're going to connect the outfit to the armature. So select the outfit that you want to weight paint or weight paint transfer. Shift select, so actually let me turn on the screencast keys so you can see what I do. So click, shift select, Control P with empty group. So basically it's going to attach the mesh to the armature, and it's not going to have weight paint data yet, but it'll still connect it at least, so that way the weight paint data can be read. So that's the first step. Now you're going to select your base model, and please make sure that the base model is complete. If by any chance your base model has like holes and stuff, this method may not work and you most likely have to manually weight paint it. But even then, I do have my second method, so hold on. So basically, select your base mesh, shift select the bathing suit or whatever outfit, go to the top left part of your screen, click on weight paint. Then what you're going to do is go to weights, transfer weights, and then the settings, which Royal Skies have taught. Change the mapping to nearest face interpolated, the radius to 5, and yeah, I can understand it is the screencast is covering up everything, I apologize. But then you're going to set it by name, so actually let me disable screencast keys so you can see this. So vertex mapping, nearest face interpolated, ray radius to 5, and source layers by name, which is literally the bone's name. So once you have that, you can go ahead and try it out on your model. So select your rig, go to pose mode on the top left, and then move your armature and see if it works. And as you can see, it really works. Now the thing, now if by any chance your mesh still does not follow the character, it's most likely because you probably may have not attached the mesh to the armature. So you can go into the modifiers tab and make sure that the armature modifier is set up properly. If you don't see one, you're gonna have to go to modifier, scroll all the way up, go under the deform section and click on armature, and then bind it to the armature which you have. So if by any chance you're a void mall, your armature's name will be called Skeleton. Just to let you know. Anyways, so that is the first method. I would also recommend, if you see some weird stuff happening, like if you see some weird things going on, you can go to weight paint tab, go to weights, click on smooth, and then you can go to all groups, so subset to all groups, and set the factor to 1. That way your weight paints can actually be very smooth and it can actually look pretty good. But do keep in mind that sometimes if you smooth too much, you can actually have some clipping issues, so do keep that in mind. I had that happen with some of my clients' malls before that I had to manually weight paint it, so yeah, happens. Now, the next method is automatic weight paint. So there are multiple ways to do automatic weight paint. Like for example, Mixamo, Blender's Rigify tool for auto rigging and all of that, and setting that stuff up. But I'm gonna just quickly show you that you can basically attach the outfit to the model. So this is mainly good if you don't have a proper base mesh, like there's a hole inside the model. So you can select your mesh, select the shift select the armature, then you're going to do Control P, and then you're going to select with automatic weights. Now before you select that, keep in mind when you select the automatic weights, what it'll do is that it will not weight paint based off the base mesh. It will actually weight paint based on the location of the bones. So it's highly recommended that you make a duplicate of your rig, hide that, and then make sure you hide everything else. And then you're going to delete all of the bones that should not correspond with the bathing suit. So for example, any IK bones or any hair bones, make sure all of them is removed. For this, you would keep the main shoulder bones, the main arm bones, the spine bones, the chest bones, the butt bones, leg bones, or anything else that corresponds. Even remove the the character controller, or anything like that. Basically, just the minimum mesh, the bones, basically. My bad. Now the thing with void malls, just to let you know, for void malls, I highly recommend reposition the bones because they're a bit funky because they're from VRM, and VRM tends to kind of mess with some stuff or kind of rearrange your bones. It kind of looks a little awkward. I mean, it still has proper weight paint, but I would recommend maybe move them around just so that way you can kind of have a more better movement with it when you're trying to do automatic weights. But even then though, it's kind of usually not recommended unless you know what you're doing. If you know how to manually weight paint, then yeah, you can go ahead and do it. It's a really great way to get a base weight paint, so that way you can kind of work with it basically. So it's really nice. But if anything, you can try Mixamo. You can try looking up Rigify Blender and the add-on and stuff. There's actually a couple of ways to kind of do the automatic weight paint way, but do keep in mind it's not perfect. It's going to have some frick-ups. So the last method I'll be teaching you guys will be the manual way. Now keep in mind, this is going to be very complicated to explain, so bear with me on this. But basically, I usually do the manual way when I tweak my stuff. But if you absolutely have to make your weight paint from scratch, then do keep in mind it's very tedious, but there are always resources out there that can definitely help you out with learning how to properly weight paint areas of your body. But right now I will be showing you kind of basic navigation on how you'll be able to manually weight paint and kind of give some pointers on weight painting basically. So let's get started. So we're going to make sure we select our mesh, shift select the armature, Control P, and make sure you have empty groups on, that way the mesh is attached. Select your outfit mesh or wherever you're weight painting, object mode, weight paint, and then what you'll be doing is that you'll be using the vertex groups, which is on the object data tab, which looks like a triangle. you'll be using this to basically, you know, navigate through your vertex groups. And look right here, these are the weight paint. The little blue and the green and the red and stuff, that's the weight paint. That's what makes everything move. So let me start off with the tools that we have. So we have our weight value, the radius, which is the size of our brush, the strength on how much pressure the brush will give us, and then we have extra, you know, areas, just like what I taught with texture paint. It's kind of like that, like, you know, if you have this, it's smooth, but if you have, like, if you click this table button here, the more harsher the paint will be, all that. So, you know, you can mess around with those. You can even mirror weight paint and stuff. You can set it to where there's X-ray mode if you want that. Also, you can go to you can press the N key, which is your properties panel, and you can go to where the tools are, and you can have more settings for your weight paint. And just a little quick tip, by the way, by default, Blender will have it set to where you can only weight paint from the front side of the mesh. If you want to weight paint through the mesh, you'll have to set up Advanced, disable front faces only, and then go to Fall Off and select Projected if you want to paint right through the model. Usually I would leave it by default, but sometimes I might want to use Projected if I'm just weight painting the entire thing a single value. So just to let you know quickly, because that is something that a lot of people were wondering about Blender 2.8, so yeah. But basically when it comes to your weight values, 0 will basically remove the weight paint value. 0.2, 0.25 is kind of like you have some sort of flexibility going on, some movement, but it's not that strong. And, you know, as you go on and increase to, like, you know, 1, that's basically where there's more influence. So the main values you usually would use is 0, 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75, and then 1. But of course, that's kind of like the main values. That's kind of a reference to PMX Editor. But, you know, you can use any value you want. You can use, like, 0.465, whatever the frick. Basically, however works with your model. So I can basically set this to 0, and I can kind of like erase some of the weight paint if I want to if I really want to refine it. You can also enable wireframe mode if you want to make sure you can see, because where you weight paint is literally based off of the vertices, like where they're located. So you can use this to kind of help you out basically. And, you know, if you want to add more influence, just 1. Like like I said, it's just more of a trial and error. I can't really explain how to weight paint everything properly because it really depends on the mesh. Now, I personally, when it comes to me weight painting stuff, I personally, for my base models, I typically would use, I would either use 2 things. 1, the automatic weight paint method, or 2, I would manually weight paint it, but I start off with using a weight paint value of 1, and then I would like heavily, you know, depending on where the bones are at, so like upper body 4, I will weight paint it up here all red, and then I would use the smooth tool right here to kind of help me with smoothing the weights, and then I kind of refine over and over and over until I get it right. So yeah, overall, you know, weight painting is going to be very complicated. I do apologize if, you know, what I'm explaining is a bit confusing, but yeah, weight paint can be a bit complicated. So, but even then though, most of it is just trial and error. If by any chance you do struggle with weight paint though, like I said, there's a lot of guides, like there's a lot of like you can check like with Blender manual, they can also explain the weight paint tools and stuff. If you do need me to private teach you, you know, I have my Discord in the description. Definitely check that out. I'll gladly try my best to help you out with it. If you do need me to make like some sort of video having like examples of me weight painting stuff, definitely I will definitely try and make that video if you guys are interested. Besides that though, I really hope this helps you at least understand kind of like the different methods of weight painting at least, and kind of understanding how to do it basically, at least getting you a head start on weight paint, because I know weight paint is a pain in the butt. Even I struggle to explain it sometimes, or sometimes I struggle to even do it. But even then though, either way, I just hope this helps you a lot. If you have questions, comment down. I will respond as fast as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a lovely day though. Sayonara everyone. See you guys next time. Bye.